Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. And I'm just going to check on a few things here. Make sure, as usual, all of you are receiving the notification. But yeah, it looks like we're all good here. So shout out to everyone on LinkedIn. Shout out to everyone on Facebook, YouTube, on Periscope. Appreciate all of you tuning in. Let me know in the comments, folks. You can see me and hear me okay. And I'm going to be speaking about a very important topic. Very important topic today. And that is the topic of staying motivated during your job search, especially during the kind of environment and the times that we're in right now. I wanted to cover tips and advice on how to best stay motivated during this current situation. And even after we get over the situation, right? Eventually, at some point in the future, you might experience some struggle in your job search. So I'm going to be sharing some tips and advice. I see people are starting to tune in. So yeah, make sure you let me know in the comments, folks, who you are, what city you're tuning in from, and what your title is, what your position is, and let me know in the comments. Make sure you hit like and comment as well as share with your network so anyone else who might be actively on the market for work can benefit from today's topic. So we got Mark tuning in. Hey, Mark, thanks so much for tuning in. Mark is, I guess, heads the organization that does the recent virtual career fair, folks. It was a great career fair. I spoke there as one of the session speakers. I spoke about how to utilize recruiters in your job search, and they'll also be doing another great career fair in August. I think August 25th or 6th. I have the banner up here, but I'll get to that in a sec. But it's going to be 100% for IT people, for people in technology. And I'm going to be speaking about specifically how to utilize IT recruiters in your job search, right? So thanks for tuning in, Mark. And that was a greatly well-organized virtual career fair, highly recommended for the job seekers. By the way, for the tech people tuning in, from what I understand, right now they're giving away free seats for the virtual tech career fair that's going on in August. So make sure you check it out. And yeah, Mark, let me know if I'm correct with that. I believe you are giving free general admission right now for the tech people. And again, folks, that is specifically for tech people. But thanks for tuning in, Mark. Appreciate that. Just a few shout outs. Sai Krishna, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. We got Shiva in the house. Hey, Shiva, thanks for tuning in. We got Vasant. Thanks for tuning in. We got Amit. We got Sai Krishna from Halifax, aiming for DevOps positions. Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in, Sai Krishna. Appreciate that. Mark says, thanks, Dean. Hey, no worries, Mark. Appreciate you tuning in. We got Vasant from all the way from Delhi, India. Awesome. Sounds good. And Mark is sharing a listing of all the upcoming virtual events. Make sure you check it out, folks. It's a great event. I've been there in person last year before this whole COVID thing. I was at one of the booths, and the next one is in August. There's one for tech people and non-tech people. I'll be speaking at the tech career fair that's happening. So make sure you check it out. And yeah, Mark says, yes, anyone who is in tech, come out. So Mark shared a link there. Awesome. So yeah, so Piyush, I'm going to get around to questions shortly. But folks, what I'm going to be speaking about today is the topic of motivation. How do you stay motivated, especially in the current environment, right? Whereby there's so much more competition and a whole bunch of stuff going on. Before I get to that, again, I just want to put that poster up for the tech career fair I'm speaking at. So it's going to be in August, and let me just quickly cancel this scroller thing here. Yeah, so it's going to be August 25th, folks. The entire event's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. I believe my session I'm not sure if the timing has been confirmed, but it'll probably be, I think it's at 3 o'clock or something like that. But this is the virtual tech career conference. So make sure you check out www.torontojobs.ca. I believe that's the website. And make sure you sign up. And check it out. And I'll be speaking about how to effectively utilize IT recruiters in your job search. I spoke at their previous event, great success, had around 60 to 70 people tune in for my session. So make sure you tune in. I believe they are giving free tickets right now for general admission. So make sure you check it out, folks. Sign up. And this one is particularly for tech people. So make sure you check it out. I'll be there. And I hope to see all of you there and tuning into the session. And also, just a heads up, anyone who might have missed it, I had a great conversation yesterday with my guest, Imal Bariali. We spoke about business analysis, and he had some controversial views regarding Agile. So make sure you check out the replay. It should be on my LinkedIn profile, as well as also on my YouTube channel, as well as my Facebook. So make sure you check it out. It was a great conversation. And make sure you tune in every Tuesday and also Thursdays for my live shows where I bring in guests. So without further ado, and I do see some other comments here. I see Manisha. Thanks for tuning in. We got Kalyan from Toronto, cloud engineer. Welcome, Kalyan. Thanks for tuning in. And we got Abhiruchi, who's a business analyst from Canada. Thanks for tuning in, Abhiruchi. Mark says, anyone from outside of Canada looking to work in Canada can come to our Immigrating to Canada conference on Thursday, September 10th. Details at that website. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Mark. So any of you outside of Canada, feel free to tune into that if you're interested in immigrating to Canada. Looks like Mark is organizing an event regarding that, so make sure you check it out. Thanks for sharing that, Mark. Okay, all right, folks. So no more procrastination. I will get to today's topic, and that is, how do you stay motivated, right? I mean, right now we're in some pretty interesting times. And I'm speaking about, of course, here in for those of us here in Toronto, Canada, but I'm assuming anywhere else in the world, right? Other parts of Canada, US, UK, Europe, India, China, whatever continent you're on, you're probably experiencing some similar conditions to what most of our experiencing right now. And that is, given the whole situation with the pandemic, now obviously things are transitioning or appear to be transitioning back to normal. You know, we're opening up. We just recently opened up stage 3 here in Toronto. So a lot of people are going back to their offices. And now that being said, folks, it doesn't mean that suddenly all the job opportunities are going to start flooding into the marketplace, right? Obviously, there will be an increase as companies get back into shifting into, okay, how do we start expanding again and bringing new people on? There's obviously going to be new job opportunities out there, and there definitely are job opportunities out there right now as well. But due to these mass layoffs that have occurred and people that are now available for work and interested in new work opportunities, a lot of us are experiencing higher competition in the job market, right? In terms of, if you're a job seeker, you're competing over fewer job opportunities against maybe many more candidates who might be competing over the same roles, right? So you're probably experiencing, these various barriers, right? And the reality is, look, folks, you're going to be facing rejections, barriers, setbacks, non-responses, ghosting, no matter what kind of market that we're in, right? And everything along that spectrum over the course of your job search. And it's not always going to be easy, folks. And how many blows can you take when you're facing these rejections, these turndowns, no responses, high competition, hiring plans getting canceled, right? Because of the uncertainty. Very easy for all of this to start weighing down on you and affecting your attitude, right? And if that's happening to you, First of all, before I get into this, okay, I'm not a certified therapist or psychologist. So if you're experiencing a serious level of depression or mental stress and that kind of stuff, seek professional help and seek professional guidance. I'm not a professional in that space, in the mental health space. But outside of that, for the rest of you, right, and you're experiencing this level of anxiety and lack of motivation because of these circumstances that we're in. It's a human thing, folks. All of us are going to experience it at some point. But how do you still show up to interviews, and how do you stay motivated and excited and energetic despite the circumstances? Because you need to bring your energy to the table, right? When you're having conversations with people, you're on the phone with people, and you're having these conversations. You want to get in front of the right people. You need to have a certain level of energy and enthusiasm regarding the role, right? And look, there's no easy answer to this. As a recruiter myself, I face pretty much very similar or the exact same rejections that you do, but probably at a higher level. Like I face more rejections over the course of a week as a recruiter than most of you do in your job search in like a year, right? And that's because recruiters are constantly on the phone trying to get into communication with candidates who might not be interested in new opportunities, getting in touch with hiring managers who are not sure if they want to even use a recruiter or an agency. And we do those kind of phone calls and those conversations in high volumes, which means higher level of rejections and setbacks and barriers and all these things. So although, the advice I want to share with you is very much from a recruiter's standpoint, but very much applicable to all of you as job seekers, right? So just keep that in mind. Now, tip number 1, by the way, you might want to take notes for today's session because I'm going to be sharing some great tips for you to stay motivated in your job search. So just keep that in mind. Tip number 1, folks, and you probably, this is not going to be the first time you heard this. You're going to hear this from a whole bunch of people. Stay away from negativity. Stay away from negativity and stay away from negative people. Probably the most important tip, and that's why I'm mentioning this as number 1. Tip number 1, right? Stay away from negative people and negativity. A lot of you are spending way too much time in front of the TV watching the news. And look, I totally get you want to stay updated on what's going on in the world and the situation and all of that. That's fine. Look, folks, get your news and then move on to something else. Don't sit there in front of the TV and spending hours and hours watching the news, because the news is going to spews mostly negative information and negative data that's only going to leave you feeling less in control, frustrated, angry, and hopeless. I don't think there's ever been a time I've actually sat in front and watched the news for a whole for like an hour or more than an hour where I felt good after it. I've never experienced that. Never really experienced that unless it's something to do with the business news and then they announce something that somehow benefits my industry or something of that sort. That's the exception. But I'm not taking my chances, folks. A lot of you need to step away from the news channel. Get your news, get your daily update if you want to do that. For those of you who think that's important, I totally get that, totally understand. Get your updates. But that's it, folks. Step away from it. Spend a few minutes getting your updates and step away from the news. Stay away from the negativity. Same goes for people, right? You might have some negative people right there. Your friends might be negative. There might be some family members that are negative. Now, obviously, I'm not saying to cut off and stop talking to those people. That's not what I'm saying. But you need to redirect those interactions. Sometimes people are themselves are going to be negative because they themselves are sitting in front of the news all day, soaking in, absorbing all this negativity. And of course, they're going to spew it everywhere else that they go as well, right? So you might not want to cut off these people, right? You can't cut off friends and family, right? Especially people that are close to you. But redirect the conversations. Change the topic. Talk about something else. Discuss some other topic. Change the topic. You do not need to sit there like a garbage can and just let everyone dump their negativity on you, right? Whether it's the news or someone that you might know. By the way, the people that you might know that are negative, they might not be doing it intentionally. Their intention is not to put you in a lower state of mind or anything like that. It's just something that they're doing. In most cases, unconsciously or subconsciously, right? Because they just watch a whole bunch of negative information on the news and now they're dumping it everywhere. They got to put it out there somewhere, right? So either you gotta redirect the conversation, change the topic, speak about something else, or you gotta think about maybe you gotta spend less time with some people that you have in your environment, right? Or that you're in touch with, or even your friends. So keep that in mind, folks, right? Now, tip number 2 is, look, you always got to keep a constant, active job opportunities pipeline, right? And what I mean by that is you need to constantly be applying for, exploring, and investigating new opportunities that might be of interest to you, that might be a fit for you, that you can pursue. Now, a big mistake a lot of job seekers make is they focus on maybe a handful of roles, which is good. I totally agree with focusing your job search on those opportunities that are the perfect or ideal match for you. But when the interview, when the rejections start coming in at some point, which they will, statistically they will, and rejections mean it could be a flat out rejection, could be you're not getting a response, could be they're not getting back to you, could be the role was canceled, whatever the case is. Because of that, folks, and ultimately you can very easily go from 5 active opportunities where you're in like the interview stages down to like a few rejections, and now suddenly you're down to like 1 or 2 opportunities. What's going to happen then? You're going to feel desperate. You're going to feel anxiety. You're going to feel nervousness. Oh my God, I only have two active opportunities right now. So this is why I always encourage, always keep a consistent flow of incoming opportunities, folks. Now, easier said than done. Absolutely, for sure, it's easier said than done. But you need to take those steps so that you have a constant pipeline of phone conversations, video interviews, in-person conversations now that things are opening up in the marketplace. And you need to do that to account for those incoming potential possible rejections or roles getting canceled or whatever the case is, so that you have a constant and consistent funnel or pipeline of active opportunities that you're applying for, that you're maybe in communication with, or that you're exploring, right? And these could be directly to companies you're applying for. It could be through staffing agencies, could be through companies you're applying for online. You're trying to get into communication with the decision makers. You need to have an active and constant pipeline, folks, so that you're constantly staying motivated. So even if, let's say, you get a rejection letter today or a rejection email today, you're like, okay, fair enough. All right, I got rejected for this, but you know what? I just got 2 new conversations going on with some recruiters and also some hiring managers. So I've got another 2 to replace that 2 or 3 that might have dropped off the pipeline. So keep that in mind. Keep a consistent pipeline, and you need to be doing this, folks, until you're in a seat. You sign the offer letter, you're in the seat, and you're actively working for a company. Until you're in the seat and you're working, you're employed, it's official, you're actually doing the work, nothing is official, right? You need to keep consistently going through with your job search and keep adding to your pipeline, right? So that's another important tip. Just because you're on to the final interview, a lot of candidates, you get to the final interview, you're like, okay, yeah, I made it, everything's good, it's all good, Dean. I don't need to worry about the job search anymore. I got this. This one's right in the what's that phrase? I can't remember the phrase right now, but you know what I mean. You got it right in the bag. It's right there. I got it. No, folks, keep going through your job search process. Like keep applying for new opportunities. Keep having conversations. Keep putting yourself in front of the right people until you're in a seat, until you're employed, until you're working. Right. So keep that in mind. Now, the next tip is very important tip, and that is keep taking action. Actually, now that I mentioned this tip, I feel like I should have mentioned this probably as number one, because next to the no negativity thing, this is probably the most important thing. Tip number one, I would have mentioned this as tip number one, but that is keep taking action, folks. Look, I'm somewhat skeptical about this whole motivational thing, right? Because there's a lot of motivational speakers out there that say a whole bunch of stuff to motivate all of you, but like there's no what's the term? There's no what is it? I can't. I've lost my words today, but there's no real value of what they're saying, right? It's just a whole bunch of motivational stuff. But what you need to do is take action. Taking action is what's going to make the difference. So first of all, is the information you're receiving, is it stuff that you can actually put into action, right? So far, what have I told you? No negativity. Avoid the news. Avoid negative people, or redirect the conversations. That stuff you need to take action on. You need to take action on that stuff. Keeping a full pipeline of opportunities, applying for new opportunities, having conversations with the recruiters, direct messaging the decision makers, and getting into conversation with people that might be hiring. You need to take action on that. So taking action is where you're gonna be actually putting into play what steps you need to carry out to stay motivated. Because staying motivated is one thing. Staying motivated is a very temporary emotion and a temporary feeling, right? Because being excited and motivated, yeah, that's great. That gives you an edge, that's for sure. But if you're not getting results, eventually your motivation is going to go down, right? Because you're not going to have anything to show for it, or anything to see for it. So taking action is a very important component. So you need to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to stay motivated? What steps do I need to take? That's great. But then take action on this. You need to take action. Taking action is what's going to help you go through and actually get results, right? Whether those results are immediate or whether they're long term. So keep that in mind, folks. Very important to take action, and you need to keep taking action, right? Because again, as human beings, our emotions can go up and down. In one day, forget one day, in the matter of 1 hour, your emotions can go up and down depending on what's happening in your environment, who you're speaking to, how your job search is going. You could be like happy over 10 out of 10 happy right now, and then in the next 5 minutes you get a rejection email. Maybe your 10 out of 10 goes down to 7 out of 10, right? So you get my point. There's always going to be things that make you fluctuate up and down, folks. The key thing is you need to keep taking action despite the way you feel. So you need to take a logical look. Okay, what action steps do I need to take? And you need to execute on those actions despite the way you feel. That's a piece of advice I follow myself. I don't always feel 100%. Like I don't always feel like doing these videos and writing comments and these articles and posts. I don't always feel it, but that I need to take action, right? Because that's the rule that I made for myself is, look, despite the way you feel, you got to show up for these people. These job seekers depend on you for job search tips and advice. So I got to keep taking action to put that content out there and to connect with all of you who are my audience, right? So you need to take the same step in your job search, folks. You need to figure out what steps you need to take for today and keep taking those steps, keep taking action, right? So the next important tip is, when you're taking action, you're going to get certain responses from the marketplace, right? In terms of, maybe you send out a message, that message does not get you results. You're making, you're getting those initial phone calls. You're not, and it's not leading into converting into actual interviews or whatever the next step is. This is where you need to examine whether you need to take a different approach, folks. Sometimes all that's really needed is a fresh new approach, right? And sometimes, sure, it's good that you're taking action, but not all actions are going to get you the results you want. So sometimes you got to adjust your actions and take a different approach. So this is where you need to take some time to evaluate what you can do at your end to change or switch things up or make an improvement in some part of your process, right? And then again, going back to taking action, right? You make the adjustments, you make the changes, put it into action, try it out, rinse and repeat, right? So this is where this is why taking action is important. Because when you put something into action, you can actually test whether it makes sense, whether it's getting you results, whether it's resulting in any changes in your job search or whatever you're doing to get yourself phone calls, video interviews, whatever the case is, right? And if it's not working, that's where you have to evaluate, okay, these are the actions I'm taking. What obviously it's not getting me the results I want. What can I change? What can I change in these actions and then implement them, right? You make those adjustments, you implement it, you take action again, and then you keep going through with this process, right? So sometimes you got to take a different approach, because look, if you're taking the same action, you're getting the same results, and it's not getting you any results, it doesn't make sense for you to keep repeating that same action over and over again. It doesn't mean you stop taking action, right? I want to signify there's a huge difference with that, right? What you want to do is you want to adjust your approach. You need to take those adjustments and take a new approach. You still need to take action, but just a different adjusted method of whatever action you're taking. So keep that in mind. Now, next, and sorry, I do see some comments here. I haven't been missing out on the comments. So let's see here. So Dr. Christina Augustine says inner circle matters. Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Augustine. Definitely agree with that. Amy says a thumbs up to that. Aditya says establish healthy boundaries with family and friends during the lockdown to avoid negative influence. Try to create some sort of working agreement. Yeah, 100%, Aditya. Great advice there. Because folks, look, you can't just get rid of. You can't get rid of all the people in your life, right? Just because they're negative. Obviously, people in your family, you can't really, unless it's something extreme, like they do something extremely, terrible that makes you want to even think about that. That's a different story. I'm not talking about that. But just because someone's negative doesn't mean that, you got the first response is not to just cut them off. So definitely, like Aditya is saying, you need to establish those boundaries and have a transparent conversation with them, right? Let's see who else. We got some more comments here. Awesome. We got, I think this is Sundas. So yeah, Sundas, thanks for tuning in. Sundas here. Great session. It gets hard to stay positive when you see all the chaos around you. At times I find taking up a new hobby, play piano or play tennis or badminton, helps you get back in a good state of mind. Yeah, great advice, Sundas. Appreciate your comment. And yeah, definitely. Sometimes folks, you got to step away from things and kind of recharge and get back into it, right? If that worked for you, absolutely. Definitely give that a shot, right? And great comment there, Sundas. Appreciate that. And yeah, continuing with the tips, folks, the other tip I have is use multiple channels. A lot of you are focusing entirely on applying for jobs online. And that's not your fault, because none of us were taught how to effectively, perform a good job search strategy. The first place we all look is applying online, right? Apply on LinkedIn, apply on the company website, apply on Monster, Indeed, and all these various places, which is great. I'm not saying don't use those channels. And I have spoken about this in previous live streams. So make sure you check out the replays from my other live streams. You can check those out probably on my my YouTube channel or even on my LinkedIn. Just look at my previous videos, right? And my previous activity. But use multiple channels, folks. Look, it's easy to get stuck on one channel for your results during your job search. So mix in a variety of sources into your job search strategy, right? And divide your day or whatever time frame you're able to in regards to using each avenue. And now an example of that is, maybe you're currently unemployed, right? So maybe you say, okay, you know what? 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I'm going to apply for jobs online. I'm just going to go on LinkedIn. I'm going to apply on LinkedIn and Monster, Indeed. I'm going to do online applications. I'm going to customize my resume. I'm going to, make sure it matches the job description as much as possible. And I'm going to apply online. That's what you're going to do for 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., right? 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'm gonna research and investigate staffing agency recruiters that I can reach out to who might be potentially looking for someone with my skill set or who frequently recruit for individuals from my background, right? So 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. that's what I'm gonna focus on, and I'm gonna be sending out connection requests. Maybe if there's a phone number for the staffing agency's website that I can find, I'm gonna call in. I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm gonna use that as another channel. 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Until lunchtime, I'm going to be reaching out directly to potential decision makers at companies that might interest me. I'm going to create a attention grabbing message, something that really captures attention, and see if I can capture their attention, get into communication with them. And I'm going to send direct messages or connection invites on LinkedIn. That's what I'm going to do from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. 12 to 1, I'm going to do my my lunch thing, my lunch break. Recharge, refuel. You want to do that. Then 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I'm back at it, right? I'm going to get back into it. So 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., what I'm going to do? Well, I'm going to research professional networking groups, right? Let's say I'm a software developer. I'm looking for software development roles. Okay, so 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., I'm doing my lunch. I'm well fed. I'm not hungry. I'm not concerned about that stuff. 1 p.m., I'm going to research the professional networking groups. I'm going to check out LinkedIn groups. I'm going to check out Facebook groups. I'm going to check out meetup.com. And I'm going to start building relationships with people, right? 12, so that's 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. I don't know. I'm just thinking of ideas here, folks, right? This is just off the top of my head, right? So 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. I might be, putting out content on LinkedIn, right? I'm a software developer. I'm going to start building my brand. I'm going to use that as another channel, build my brand. That's a long-term strategy. All right. What's the biggest problem I've faced as a software developer? Let me write about that, because you know what? That might capture the attention of other software developers at other companies. And hey, maybe I'll build a relationship with them, and maybe they might be interested in having a conversation with me about whatever opportunities they have. Variety, folks. You got to use multiple channels. Imagine you do that versus only applying for jobs online. Look, right now, folks, highly competitive. If you're only using online, application submissions and online resume submissions, it's a strategy you need to use, but it should only be one of your channels, one of your strategies. If you're only depending on that, that's a failing strategy, because there's so much competition right now with so many people applying online. You got hundreds and hundreds of applications for just one, for each job in most cases, right? Because there's so much more available talent on the market. So this is why you need to use multiple channels, right? And if you do this, you divide your day up like this, then you're not going to be depressed only applying for jobs online, right? Use multiple channels, get creative, investigate what other channels you can use, and make use of those. And final tip, and probably the most important tip, folks. This is the most important one. If you haven't been paying attention to the other ones, this is the one that's most important. You need to keep selling yourself on you, folks. This is the most important. I know I said this is the most important tip for like a few of the other ones. I just get excited about these tips, right? But this is probably one of the key tips. Keep selling yourself on you. Look, when you face the letdowns, the rejections, the pandemic, COVID-19 this, COVID-19 that, now they got what? E. coli or someone was, what's that one called, folks? Help me out. The one with the fish. No, not with the fish. It sounds like the salmonella or something. Something's going on like that in the US, right? And now there's always something going on, right? And then you eventually you all this negativity, right? Maybe you're watching the news. Maybe your friend keeps telling you, hey, it's a bad market. Hey, it's a bad market. Hey, it's a bad market. Blah, 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 whatever. And you start doubting yourself, and you start doubting your self-worth. That's not the answer, folks. Listen to me. That's not the answer. Quit doing that. Do not start doubting yourself. Just whatever's going out there in the environment, that does not mean you start doubting yourself. Instead, you need to review, and this is another way you need to stay motivated, is review your own resume. Simple as that. Simple first step. If you're feeling down, demotivated, anxious, nervous, you're maybe a little depressed, I'm telling you, take out your resume. This is one of those times I'm actually gonna tell you to take out your resume and put a lot of work on your resume. Review your own resume, folks. Go over each of your projects. Remind yourself of the value you have added at each of the projects you've been at an individual level, as a team player, at a company level, a department level. Go through your accomplishments. Remind yourself of everything you've accomplished. You are someone of value. You are someone that brings value to the table. Get out of this negativity mindset you're in. You need to stay sold on you. You remember what I've told you in my previous live streams, right? You're a solution provider. You're someone who's providing a solution. You're, dare I say, you're a product. And I don't mean that in a bad way or disrespectful way, but you need to be sold on the product, and the product is you. You are the solution, right? That's why a company wants to hire someone in your position, is because they want someone to solve a problem. And if you're not sold on you, how is anyone else going to be sold on you? If you lack confidence in yourself, how can you expect someone else to have the confidence to say, yeah, I'm going to sign a $100,000 check to get this person on board with us? Not that they're going to spend $100K right away, but if your salary requirement is $100K, that's quite a decision, folks. That's quite a decision for someone to say, yeah, I totally am confident in this person, that I'm willing to pay them X number of dollars for this role. If you're not confident about yourself and you're not communicating that confidence, how are you going to expect anyone else to, folks? You had to stay sold on yourself, right? So again, go over your resume, go over your projects, and don't just review your resume. I'm not saying this is not for reviewing the resume and customizing it. No, we can do that another time, right? I'm talking about going over your resume, look over, remind yourself of your accomplishments, the projects you did, what were the challenges, how you overcame those challenges, how you delivered, what was the ROI you delivered for the company? Were your managers happy with you? Were they excited? Did they give you positive feedback? Did they give you high fives? Did they pat you on the back? Did they say, good job, great job? Well, that's because you delivered value, folks. Go through your certifications. How many certifications do you have? Take them out. Pull them out from your shelf, from your bookshelf, from your suitcase. If you're new to the country, take them out. Take them out, look at them, remind yourself. This is, I'm someone who has achieved these certifications as well. Especially those of you in IT, those certifications are not a walk in the park. They're not easy certifications. Especially PMP, right? Those of you who are project managers, you've done the PMP. That's one of the most difficult certifications out there, right? So you need to, the whole point of this exercise, you need to remind yourself of your value. Go through your certifications. Go through your awards. Have you won any awards? Have you won any trophies? Pull those out. Take a look at them. Yeah, I won this trophy. Dust off those recommendation letters you've received, right? From your previous managers, supervisors, maybe previous customers and clients. Read them. See how highly past, these customers, managers, and hiring managers and all these people have spoken about you. Whatever happens, folks, and this is probably one of the most, and I know I said this already for like some of the other tips, but really, this is probably the most important tip. Whatever happens, you need to stay sold on you and your value, and you need to constantly remind yourself of it. So whenever you're feeling depressed and down and depressed, and I know some people in the comments have given some great tips and advice, major tip and advice, folks, whenever you find yourself doing that, take out all of your qualifications, take out your resume, stay sold on yourself, go over, review your projects, all your standout, all those amazing accomplishments you've done. Take out your certifications, look at those. Take out your trophies, your awards. Take out your recommendation letters, read over them, remind yourself of your value, right? So anyway, look, I hope these tips were helpful, right? And then my point is, look, you got to stay, you got to take certain steps to stay motivated. You can't expect to just suddenly feel motivated. No, you got to take steps to make yourself motivated, right? That's the whole point of this. So I hope everyone got that out of this session so far. I do see, and by the way, folks, if you have any questions in the comment, make sure you put in the comments. Whether it's job search related, or motivational related, or just any job search questions you have, make sure you put in the comments. Akshara says, very motivating session, Dean. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, Akshara. Appreciate that feedback. Fahim, nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Appreciate you tuning in. Fahim says, great work, Dean. These are valuable tips. Great to hear that, Fahim. Appreciate that. I do see some comments and questions here, folks. I'm gonna go over the comments and questions. And let's see here. Yeah. So if you have any questions, feel free to put in the comments, folks. I'm gonna just put it. I'm just gonna go over these questions here. Let's see here. So Mohammed says, does COVID-19 affect jobs and recruitment worldwide? In some countries, it was a full paid vacation. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I guess different countries might differ, Mohammed. Obviously here in Toronto, definitely there's been an effect over here. There's been mass layoffs. There's been people put on temporary leave and furlough. There's been people that have just been, like I mentioned before, just completely laid off. Now that being said, there are certainly still some industries that did have job hiring activity going on, but the available opportunities is much fewer than the available talent on the market. So that's what's really creating a lot of competition, Mohammed. But I'm not sure which part of the world you're from, Mohammed. But maybe where you are, it might be different, right? So absolutely. In any case, folks, whichever part of the world you're in right now, if whatever part of the world you're in, whatever industry you're in, you need to take a look at where is all the action in my industry right now? Where is all the action in my space? That's where you need to be. You need to be fishing for opportunities, right? Which industries are hot right now during COVID-19? Which industries are hot? Which industries are operating? That's where you need to be focusing your attention on for new opportunities, right? So you need to make that assessment. But yeah, great comment, Mohammed. Totally true. I mean, maybe some parts in the world are not really affected, right? And yes, maybe some countries it was a full paid vacation. So totally get that. Let's see here. So any more questions? Yeah, we got Sundus. Appreciate your comment regarding other activities. And then Mohammed has another follow-up comment. So question with Mohammed said, was there a demand on working from home during the pandemic? Yeah, absolutely, Mohammed. For those companies still operating and still hiring and still functioning that weren't or the people that they did keep and not lay off, absolutely. They most companies did go into 100% work from home. So absolutely, yeah, that was definitely in play. So hope that answers your question, Mohammed. We have a comment from someone who says physical exercise is the best way to get yourself out of a negative mindset. Go for a walk, a jog, or a bike ride, a simple and free way to get yourself out of a bad funk. Yeah, 100% agree. Great advice. And sorry, sometimes it doesn't show the name, so I'm not sure who wrote this. I guess it was Imal. Yeah, Imal. So Imal, thanks for tuning in, Imal. By the way, side note, folks, Imal was my guest on my show, my Tech Talk segment yesterday. Great segment. We spoke about Agile. He had some very interesting thoughts, somewhat controversial thoughts about Agile, as well as he spoke about business analysis. If you missed that conversation and you have an interest in business analysis and Agile, make sure you check out the replay. It's on my profile. It's also on my YouTube channel. Check that out. But yeah, great advice. I completely agree with that. Physical exercise is very good. You gotta stay active, folks. It's a great way, especially exercise, great way to relieve stress, right? Especially if you're working out, some vigorous, physical activity, like Imal suggests, go for a walk, a jog, bike ride. Great way, definitely great way. Completely agree with that, Imal. Great advice, and thanks for tuning in. Then Kalyan says, what is the tech fair which is coming up in late August? Yeah, so great question, Kalyan. So let me post the banner for all of you right now. I'll post it right here. Sorry, let me just take off your comment briefly, Kalyan, so everyone can see. So yeah, this is the virtual tech career conference coming up, folks, which Kalyan is referring to. So it's Tuesday, August 25th. And the entire fair is going to be from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So, and my session is not going to be for the entire 3 hours, obviously, but I'm going to be one of the speakers there. How to effectively utilize IT recruiters in your job search is the topic I'll be speaking about. But there's going to be plenty of other speakers, so make sure you sign up. I believe the admission right now is free. And you can visit www.torontojobs.ca if you want to sign up. They should have more information there. So hope that helps. And yeah, it's August 25th. Hope that helps, Kalyan, and thanks for your question. Let me see what other comments we have here. Mamadi says, great talk. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, Mamadi. Appreciate that. And, thanks for tuning in. Kalyan says, what is the tech? Yeah, so I guess I already answered that, Kalyan. Yeah, so it's Tuesday, August 25th. That's when it's taking place. And let me put up the website address for those of you who might be interested in signing up. And you can see me live. And again, there's going to be other speakers as well. You can sign up for that conference at the website here, torontojobs.ca. They should have a link for the virtual tech conference. So the tech conference is only for IT people. I think they also have another non-tech conference as well. So feel free to check that out. Any other questions, folks? I'm going through the comments. I don't see any other job search comments, so I'll give it another minute or two. If not, I'm gonna wrap this up. But if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. And again, I'll give it like a few more, maybe a minute or two, because I know there's a bit of a lag on this platform. So make sure you put any job search interview questions you have, put in the comments. And also a heads up to the IT professionals out there. Those of you who might not be unaware, for those of you in Canada and the US, I'm currently collaborating with Gurpreet Kaur on a Land Your Dream IT job program and boot camp. It's a 5-week program. It's a 5 weeks program. You get 2 coaches, myself and Gurpreet, live, 2 classes every week, 2 hours each class, so about 4 hours every week. Total 20 hours of coaching and 1 year of ongoing support. We'll be showing you how to conduct your job search from end to end, from creating your resume from scratch all the way to salary negotiations, counter offers, and all that fun stuff. Gurpreet wanted to partner up with me on that because I provide my perspective, being in IT recruitment, right? And that's exactly what I'm going to be providing is that perspective as an IT recruiter, from dealing with hundreds and hundreds of companies, hundreds and thousands of maybe interview cycles, recruitment cycles, various types of hiring manager, personalities, decision makers, everyone from, dealing and negotiating with HR people all the way up to C-level executives. That's what I'm going to be including in the program from my end, and what I'm going to be speaking about in the program. If you want more information about the program, definitely feel free to let me know. Again, it's a 5 weeks program, $1,500 Canadian, folks. That's $1,500. I know it might be a hefty price for a lot of you, but nothing to lose. If you wanted to schedule a conversation with me, learn more about what's going to be covered in the program, I'd be happy to help you decide if it makes sense for you to make that investment. So make sure you check that out. And feel free to private message me if you're interested in learning more about what's going to be included in the program, right? We got some more feedback here. We got Ruzan says, thanks, Dean. Hey, no worries, Ruzan. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you here. And I definitely will be communicating with you, Ruzan, about having you as a guest on one of my future shows. So definitely look forward to that. Hema says, hi, Dean. Great session and really helpful. No worries, Hema. I appreciate that. And thanks for tuning in. Chidi says, your profile says you're an IT recruiter. Do you assist in recruiting people? And if yes, is it only IT related jobs, or you can assist to recruit or find jobs for every field and profession? Yeah, so Chidi, it is, specifically for IT is definitely my expertise and my focus. Now, Chidi, I'm not sure if you're based out of here in Toronto, or if you're outside of Toronto or outside of Canada. But if that's the case, unfortunately, I might not be able to help you myself. But if you're here in Toronto, maybe I might be able to refer you to some other recruiter that might be, specialized in your field. So feel free to send me a private message. I'll be happy to see if I can direct you with, to anyone else. So thanks for tuning in, Chidi, and appreciate you tuning in. Let's see who else here. So Gadir says, thank you, Dean. Hey, no worries, Gadir. Thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. And let's see here. So Kalyan says, how do I reach out to you, Dean? I'm a recent PR, moved to Canada on July 24th. I'm a cloud engineer actively looking for jobs. Yeah, so Kalyan, are we connected on LinkedIn, Kalyan? If we're not, or what I'll do is I'll in any case, I'll check out your profile after the session, Kalyan, and I will add you on LinkedIn. So, definitely let's connect. I definitely would love to connect with you. I see that you're a cloud engineer. So yeah, let's absolutely connect. I'll send you a connection request if we're not connected already. Or if we are connected, Kalyan, don't be shy. Send me a direct message. Might take, sometimes I do get a lot of messages, so it may take me, a few hours or so, but I will certainly get back to your message as soon as possible. Yeah, so Kalyan says yes. Yeah, so Kalyan, if we're connected, yeah, send me a direct message. Like, no need to wait. Definitely send me a direct message. We can certainly coordinate moving forward from there. If you want to, discuss your skill set or your current situation, I'd be happy to help. Zafar says, thank you, Dean. As usual, a very informative session. Yeah, no worries. No worries, Zafar. Appreciate that feedback. All right, folks. So looks like there's no more questions or comments. So if I didn't get around to you, I think I got around to everyone's questions and comments. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And again, thanks everyone for all your likes, your engagement, and engaging with my content, tuning into these live streams. My intention is to share with you valuable information. And at my end, I'm definitely looking to grow my network. So if there's anyone you want to recommend in your network to follow me or connect with me, definitely, I really appreciate that, because I'm looking to get my name out there, get my brand out there, so I can help more people through what I'm able to do in terms of being, my perspective in terms of the job search content and tips and advice, as well as the bootcamp programs I'm collaborating on and that I'll be introducing. So always appreciate all of your likes and comments and engagement. And also, just a heads up for all of you that want to tune into my weekly shows. Usually I have 3 weekly shows that I do. So Tuesdays is Tech Talks with the Tech Recruiter. Today is the Wednesdays one, which is where I provide live tips and advice. And usually on Thursdays is my job search chat with the Tech Recruiter. So tomorrow I won't be having my job search chat because I had a guest actually who had to reschedule. But usually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays is when I have my live stream. So just connect with me on LinkedIn or follow with me if you haven't already, so you can stay updated on when I'm going to be releasing these segments every Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But Wednesdays for sure, 100% Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone, I'm here live. I provide my own tips and advice to help all of you in your job search and answer all of your questions live. So in any case, folks, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Look, if you're, I hope these tips I shared today, all of you use it. Remember one of the most important tips I shared. Take action, folks. You got to take action, because just listening to this stuff, just being motivated, feeling motivated, that's not what's going to get you results. What's going to get you results is taking action and really doing things to put yourself out there, right? And as a final note, I always say this. Look, I'm not here to just make you feel motivated. I'm not just here to motivate you. I'm here, folks, to motivate you into taking action, right? Taking action is the key. So I want all of you to take this information, apply it, take action. And if you have any questions or you have any questions and stuff like that, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know. And again, make sure you like, share, comment, folks. Really appreciate all the likes, shares, and comments, so I can reach more people and help more people who might need my information, my help, my tips, and my advice. Folks, have a great rest of the day. Have a fantastic day, and appreciate everyone tuning in. And be sure to tune in every week, Wednesdays, 11 a.m. for my weekly live stream where I share these tips and advice. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good day.